In 1901, Greek sponge divers were hunting for treasures off the coast of Antikythera Island when they stumbled upon something that would shatter everything we thought we knew about ancient history. Deep beneath the Mediterranean waves, among marble statues, golden coins, and broken pottery, they pulled up a mysterious lump of corroded bronze and rotting wood. Nobody paid attention to it. For 50 years, this strange object sat forgotten in a dusty museum storage room, labeled as nothing more than ancient debris. But in 1950, everything changed. British scientist Derek de Solla Price decided to take a closer look at this overlooked artifact. What he discovered inside that corroded lump would send shockwaves through the scientific community that are still reverberating today. Hidden beneath centuries of ocean corrosion were dozens of intricate bronze gears, precisely cut dials, and ancient Greek inscriptions that revealed an impossible truth. This wasn't just any ancient relic. This was a computer, built over 2,000 years ago. No electricity, no circuits, no digital components, just bronze gears working in perfect mathematical harmony. And according to everything we know about human technological development, it absolutely should not exist. Imagine diving to the bottom of the sea and finding a perfectly functioning smartphone from the year 100 BC. That's essentially what happened here. The Antikythera Mechanism represents technology that was supposed to be invented over a millennium later. This single artifact has forced scientists to question everything they thought they knew about ancient civilizations. What makes this discovery so mind-bending is its sophistication. We're not talking about a simple counting device or basic calendar. This analog computer could predict solar and lunar eclipses with stunning accuracy, track the complex movements of planets across the sky, calculate moon phases years into the future, and even predict when the ancient Olympic Games would be held. It was essentially an ancient planetarium that could model the entire known universe. The level of engineering precision required to build this device is staggering. The mechanism contains at least 37 bronze gears, each one handcrafted with tooth precision measured down to fractions of a millimeter. To achieve this level of accuracy, ancient craftsmen would have needed tools and techniques that supposedly didn't exist for another 1,000 years. Even master Swiss watchmakers from the 19th century would be impressed by the mechanical sophistication of this ancient device. But here's where things get really strange. In 2006, researchers used advanced CT scanning technology and 3D X-ray tomography to peer inside the mechanism without damaging it. What they found defied all logic. Hidden within the corroded bronze were differential gears, a type of complex mechanical system that historians claim wasn't invented until the 1500s. These differential gears allowed the device to account for the elliptical orbits of celestial bodies, incorporating mathematical concepts that weren't supposed to be understood until the time of Johannes Kepler. The inscriptions carved into the bronze plates revealed even more impossible knowledge. Ancient Greek text described astronomical cycles, eclipse predictions, and planetary calculations that required understanding of advanced mathematics and precise observational data collected over centuries. Whoever built this device had access to astronomical knowledge that rivaled what we possessed just a few hundred years ago. Yet here's the most disturbing aspect of this entire mystery. We have never found another device like it. Not one. In over a century of archaeological excavations across the ancient world, no similar mechanism has ever been discovered. No blueprints, no instruction manuals, no mentions in ancient texts that clearly describe such a device. No evolutionary progression of the technology. It's as if this incredibly advanced computer appeared out of nowhere, existed briefly, and then vanished completely from human knowledge. This technological isolation is deeply unsettling. When we look at other ancient innovations, we can trace their development and evolution. We can see how pottery techniques improved over time, how metallurgy advanced gradually, how architectural methods evolved through trial and error. But the Antikythera Mechanism stands alone in history like a technological ghost, with no ancestors and no descendants. This brings us to the theories that attempt to explain this impossible artifact, and some of them will challenge everything you believe about human history. The mainstream archaeological explanation suggests the mechanism was created in Rhodes, possibly in a workshop connected to the famous astronomer Hipparchus, who is credited with discovering the precession of the equinoxes. Some researchers believe it might have been designed by followers of Archimedes, the legendary Greek mathematician and inventor who was known for creating mechanical marvels. But even these conventional theories struggle to explain the device's sophistication. If ancient Greeks possessed the knowledge and skills to build such an advanced computer, where are all the other examples of their technological prowess? Why didn't this level of mechanical engineering spread throughout the ancient world? Why didn't it revolutionize their civilization? This has led some researchers to propose far more radical explanations. The first alternative theory suggests that there was once an advanced ancient civilization that possessed scientific knowledge rivaling our own modern understanding. This hypothetical civilization somehow mastered complex mathematics, precise astronomy, and sophisticated mechanical engineering thousands of years before the official timeline of human technological development suggests it was possible. According to this theory, the Antikythera Mechanism is not an anomaly, but rather the last surviving remnant of a forgotten golden age of human achievement. Perhaps this advanced knowledge was concentrated in a few centers of learning, like the legendary Library of Alexandria, and was lost when these institutions were destroyed by wars, natural disasters, or deliberate suppression. The second theory ventures into even more controversial territory. Some researchers have suggested that the mechanism might be evidence of time travel or extraterrestrial intervention. They argue that the device's technological sophistication is so far beyond what ancient humans should have been capable of creating that it must have originated from a more advanced source. While this explanation might sound like science fiction, the mechanical impossibility of the device does raise uncomfortable questions about the limits of ancient human capability. A third theory proposes that our understanding of ancient history is fundamentally flawed. Perhaps technological development didn't follow the neat, linear progression that historians have constructed. Maybe there were periods of advanced achievement followed by dark ages where knowledge was lost, destroyed, or deliberately hidden. The Antikythera Mechanism might be proof that human civilization has experienced multiple rises and falls, with each cycle losing crucial knowledge from the previous era. The mystery deepened even further when modern scientists attempted to recreate the device. In 2021, a dedicated team from University College London embarked on an ambitious project to build a working replica of the Antikythera Mechanism using only materials, tools, and techniques that would have been available to ancient Greek craftsmen over 2,000 years ago. The results were both humbling and terrifying. Despite having access to detailed CT scans, 3D computer models, advanced metallurgy knowledge, and modern precision measuring tools, the research team struggled for years to create even a partially functional replica. Many of the gear trains were so complex and precisely engineered that the scientists had to make educated guesses about how they were originally manufactured. The most challenging aspect was replicating the intricate gear ratios that allowed the mechanism to track planetary retrograde motion, the apparent backward movement of planets as observed from Earth. These calculations require an understanding of complex mathematical relationships that weren't supposed to be known until the work of Copernicus and Kepler in the 16th and 17th centuries. Yet somehow, ancient Greek engineers not only understood these concepts, but managed to encode them into a mechanical computer using nothing but bronze gears. Even more puzzling was the discovery of manufacturing techniques that modern engineers couldn't fully explain. Some of the gear teeth showed evidence of precision cutting methods that should have been impossible without modern machine tools. The bronze alloy composition was perfectly calibrated for durability and precision, suggesting metallurgical knowledge that wasn't documented anywhere in ancient texts. Dr. Tony Freeth, who led the Reconstruction project, admitted that even with all of modern science's advantages, his team could only approximate the original device's functionality. In his words, the more we study it, the more we realize we don't understand how they made it. This admission from one of the world's leading experts on the mechanism is deeply unsettling. If our most advanced scientists, equipped with 21st century technology, cannot fully comprehend how this device was created, what does that say about the true capabilities of its ancient builders? The Reconstruction project also revealed another disturbing detail. The mechanism's design showed evidence of multiple iterations and improvements, suggesting it was not a one-off creation, but part of an ongoing technological tradition. This implies that there were likely other, possibly even more advanced versions of the device that have been lost to history. We might be looking at the primitive ancestor of a whole family of ancient computers that we'll never find. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Antikythera mechanism is not what it tells us about ancient technology, but what it suggests about the fragility of human knowledge. Consider this terrifying possibility. What if advanced technological civilizations have risen and fallen multiple times throughout human history, each time leaving behind only scattered remnants that we dismiss as anomalies? The mechanism was found in a Roman shipwreck dating to approximately 60 BC. This ship was likely transporting valuable goods and artifacts when it sank in a storm. But why was this incredibly sophisticated device being transported? Was it being moved to safety during a time of war? Was it being taken to a distant location for study? Or was someone trying to hide it from those who might misuse its knowledge? The timing is particularly suspicious. The Roman Republic was in the midst of civil wars that would ultimately lead to the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire. Libraries were being burned, scholars were being persecuted, and entire centers of learning were being destroyed. Is it possible that the Antikythera mechanism was one of many advanced devices that were being evacuated from a threatened location, only to be lost forever when the ship carrying them sank? This raises an even more disturbing question. What other technological marvels were lost in similar disasters? How many other impossible devices are sitting at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea, or buried beneath the ruins of ancient cities, or crumbling to dust in forgotten caves? The Antikythera mechanism might not be unique at all. It might simply be the only one we've been lucky enough to find. Recent archaeological discoveries have begun to support this unsettling possibility. Advanced Roman concrete that self-heals underwater. Byzantine automated mechanical theaters that performed complex plays. Medieval Islamic programmable robots that could serve drinks and play music. Each of these discoveries pushes back the timeline of technological development and suggests that our ancestors were far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. But here's what keeps researchers awake at night. If these individual discoveries represent just the tip of the iceberg, what lies beneath? What vast repository of ancient knowledge and technology has been lost to wars, natural disasters, and the simple passage of time? The Antikythera mechanism might be our only glimpse into a hidden history of human achievement that dwarfs our modern accomplishments. The implications go beyond just ancient history. If human civilizations have achieved high levels of technological sophistication before, only to lose that knowledge through catastrophe or conflict, what does that mean for our own technological future? Are we destined to repeat this cycle of advancement and collapse? And most terrifyingly, could our current digital age, with all its complexity and interconnectedness, be just as fragile as whatever civilization created the Antikythera mechanism? Consider how dependent our modern world has become on technologies that few people truly understand. If a global catastrophe destroyed our electrical infrastructure and digital networks tomorrow, how much of our technological knowledge would survive? Would future archaeologists, 2,000 years from now, be just as puzzled by a corroded smartphone as we are by the Antikythera mechanism? This brings us to perhaps the most important lesson